Hey guys, it's Mrs. Field here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to work on section 2 for your speed and kinetic energy lab. At this point in time, you should already have your data table completely filled out. You should have gotten your times, walking heel to toe, walking normally and running. You should have calculated out the speed by taking your distance divided by your time. You should have then calculated out the kinetic energy for each of those movements by taking zero point 0.5 times your mass, which we were all using 50 kilograms, times your speed squared, however long it took you, or the speed at which you completed those movements. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to prepare a graph of kinetic energy versus speed. So we're going to plot speed on the x-axis and kinetic energy on the y-axis, which is exactly what you did in your math connections activity too. We're going to label the axes, and we're going to make sure that the graph has a title. We're going to use Google Sheets to create the graph to compare how speed affects kinetic energy. And then we're going to copy and paste the graph into this document. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually scroll back up. Now, I don't have any data in here because I did not complete the lab. I did not actually get any times for how long it took me. What I am going to do, just to make this a little bit easier for myself, is I'm going to take my tab and I'm going to scooch it over. I'm going to split my screens so that I can see my data along with my spreadsheet here. I want to make sure that I title this spreadsheet, and I can just call it Speed and Kinetic Energy, maybe Graphs or Lab. Then in my A1 cell, I want to label this as speed meters per second. I'm putting the unit in my title up here because I can't put my units next to the numbers. Otherwise, it says like no data found, data error. It won't be able to recognize your data because there'll be letters after it and not just numbers. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put in the cell B1, kinetic energy, and I'm going to put joules. And what you can do, because this doesn't fit all the way in there, is I can just double click on this line after I get these double arrows to extend it to make sure that it fits. What you're going to do then is you're going to type in all of your speeds. So you're going to go back to your speed column. You're going to type in those 3 speeds that you have. Then you're going to go to your kinetic energy column, and underneath you're going to type in your kinetic energy. After you have all of your data in there for this, so let's just say that my speed was 1, 2, 3. Obviously that's not accurate. My kinetic energy, let's say, was 100, 400, and let's say 900. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to highlight all of my cells. I'm going to go to Insert, and I'm going to go to Chart. It's going to pull up this chart for me, and I can already see that the chart type is a line chart. You want to make sure that yours is a line chart too. Some of yours might automatically go to the scatter chart. That's what I was seeing on your math connections. However, you want to make sure that it's this line chart. And then what you can do is you can click on these 3 arrows at the top right-hand corner, and you can press Copy Chart. What you're going to do then is go back to your lab, and you are going to just copy and paste. So I'm just going to press Control V, and then it says link to spreadsheet. Press paste. This way I have access to your spreadsheet so I can go back and see maybe something didn't work right, or maybe something looks kind of goofy, and I can go and work with you on that. So I paste it in here so that my chart is in my lab. One thing that I was noticing last week when we were working on that math connections is I was noticing some of you were having trouble because you were putting in your units after the number. when I do that, it doesn't recognize it as data anymore because of those letters. I have to make sure that there are no letters in order for the spreadsheet to recognize it as your numbers, which is your data. That was just something common that I was seeing. Also, you have to make sure that each number is in a different cell. The cell, when I say the word cell, I just mean in different boxes, because otherwise it will not indicate it as like individual data. If you have any questions, let me know.